I'm Kat.
And I'm Hayley.
And this is Night Classy,
a tipsy night class teaching the oddities and curiosities you never learned in school.
What are we drinking for this learning journey, Hayley?
By some type of miracle, I am drinking a beer. What kind of beer, you may ask? A Howling Gourds Pumpkin Ale, because it's fall.
It is officially here. The leaves are falling. They're brown.
It's been here. Just to clarify for everyone who's like, it's too early. It ain't.
No, it's not. It's not. It is cooling down. And I am drinking the same brand, but it's a pumpkin cider.
Oh, mine says pumpkin ale.
We have different things.
Oh, it looks exactly the same.
Because it's the same brand.
Same,
Look at that. I got it from Trader Joe's. I prefer the cider to the beer, but the beer is fine.
I'll take it. And like I said before, honestly, a miracle that I'm drinking it all. I thought that I was done, like, actually forever.
Yeah.
After this weekend, coming back from a bachelorette party in Miami. It's been a roller coaster of emotions and physical ailments.
I'm impressed you're here. I was honestly waiting for the text because we have to host bar trivia tomorrow. And I was like, Hayley's not going to be feeling good. We're going to be pulling like an all-nighter trying to record our episode after bar trivia. So I'm glad you're here because I would have struggled. Otherwise.
Oh my God. Well, I really did think about it. Actually, I was about to send the text, but our trivia is not tomorrow. It's the day after tomorrow and the day after that.
Oh shit, you're so right.
But we have Bachelor tomorrow. And
yes,
I was like,
that's what it is.
Kat is going to throw a fit about Bachelor night. So
look, it's only because we have other people relying on us.
You're not
Bachelor
even hosting.
Night. No, I know, but Kelly and Clint are counting on us to be there. It's rude.
That's true. If we got started early enough, we could, but we know that we won't, so we shan't.
There's no way. We will not be done by 7.
I went through all of those emotions of being like, I could cancel. Thankfully, though, I did get everything that I needed to done in time by also some miracle and took a nap beforehand. So
wow.
I'm feeling good. Yeah.
Good. I'm glad you're feeling good. I'm feeling terrible. It's been a terrible week.
It's Monday.
It's Monday. My car got stolen.
Right.
I haven't ranted about that on the podcast yet.
Like, shut up about your stupid car,
I know.
Kat.
I've already ranted about it to Hayley many a time, but
I would let you rant about it forever. This is so fucked.
I felt like it was like some kind of cosmic karma, though.
What'd you do?
Because it got stolen right after we recorded our last episode, like that night. And after we recorded, I was like, wow, like I really like endorsed stealing on that episode. And I was talking about how like it doesn't matter that people stole from McDonald's and like fuck capitalism and that's fine. And then my car got stolen and I'm like, oh, stealing does matter. It affects me and I don't like it.
You're not a corporation, though. Yeah, it turns out the capitalists also now own karma, so we're fucked.
Look, I had to rationalize it in some way for my own sanity. Apparently, they're out here stealing Kias and Hyundais, so if you have one of those, get a steering wheel lock because you don't think it's going to happen to you until it happens. And I got my car back because I had a flat tire, and that's why I left it downtown overnight. And then they drove it a block on the flat tire and then got out and realized that they ripped apart my dashboard and broke my windows for no fucking reason. If they had just fucking looked down and seen my tire was flat, they wouldn't have stolen my car.
It's so fucked. Did you cry? Because I would have cried.
No.
You didn't.
I don't really
so
cry.
Strong. I know you don't, but I feel like in certain situations, some people who don't cry would cry.
I cry when I'm like, okay, there's a few things that'll make me cry. Live musical performances. I cry every time.
What?
I cried so hard watching Frozen live. Like,
well, I thought you
without
hated
fail. No,
that
I
shit.
love musicals. Without fail, like hearing people sing in person, if it's like not in a concert, so, like if it's in a play, I cry.
We have bonded over not liking being serenaded.
I don't like being. I don't want to be personally serenaded.
Okay.
That's not the same as going to see a
line.
musical.
Okay.
I will say, dating you for 3 years, living with you, I did not know that.
Yeah, because
I'm as surprised as Hayley is.
I don't show it. I just tear up. She
keeps it in. She doesn't want to let anyone know her weakness.
And seeing like women do cool things, like when I'm watching a video and it's like this woman beat all odds and like is now like doing this, like has this huge charity. That makes me cheer
You're
up
like
too.
watching one of those videos where the woman crushes the watermelon in between her thighs.
I mean, maybe.
Women doing amazing things. The grapefruit video.
That's impressive. Also impressive. I respect the grapefruit video.
The
But yeah.
grapefruit video, she should be set for life as far as I'm concerned. She's brought so many people so much joy.
I want her to be. If she's not, that's really a failure of our society.
Yeah, we have a lot of those, so I'm not counting on
Yeah,
anything.
I'm not surprised.
But yeah, I would have cried. I'm happy for you that you haven't, but I know it has not been fun to figure out. That's like the most
it's
adulting
terrible.
thing you have to figure out.
And I don't know what to do. Like, my insurance company has ghosted me. I've been texting them and they're not texting me back. So it's been rough.
TikTok. We're going to TikTok
No,
with this.
I don't want to.
You don't want to get your car back?
No, I'm gonna get my car back. I need to call them. Is what I need to do.
Oh yeah, I thought you had
And
called
I
them.
have my car. It's just dead at my apartment building with garbage bags duct taped over the windows.
Are all of the windows broken?
Just one.
Oh,
I exaggerated. It's just one.
Okay.
But
well, shut up
still.
about it.
And I've been too lazy to clean up the glass, so it's also full of broken glass.
That's one of those things that you just need the time to wallow in it for a bit. You know, you don't clean up the glass yet. You'll know when it's time.
I'm hoping that when I get the glass replaced, they'll clean it for
They'll
me.
do it.
I think, hopefully. I don't know. I'm just going to see if they do it. And if they don't, then I'll clean it.
It's worth it. What are you going to put it like a sweatshirt down to drive in it?
Well, no, the glass is only in the back seat.
They broke the
back window.
Oh, I guess they'd have to sit in it too.
Right. Yeah, they were thinking ahead in that way, which good for them, honestly.
yeah,
I probably wouldn't have thought that far.
Thinking ahead in so many ways, but failing in so many others. Like, at least inspect the car that you're stealing.
Right.
At the very least. Like, make sure there are no flat tires, nothing to stop you from the getaway.
I mean,
right?
that's what I thought. I thought, if you're going to steal a car, you probably look at it first. And like the reason I left it down there was like, because who's going to steal a car with a blatantly flat tire? Like, it was all the way flat. But then I was thinking about it and I was like, I got in the car and drove it around the block without realizing the tire was flat. And am I any better or worse than a criminal? No. So, same thought process for them. They didn't realize it. It's not their fault.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
They just leave you a little card that's like, I'm sorry. I know this sucks.
I should write them an apology card. I'm sorry my car had a flat tire. That was really inconsiderate on my part.
You might be in a better position if it had gotten like completely stolen. Your
Except
insurance
if it
would
had
probably-
gotten completely stolen, I would have gotten a new car. So I kind of wish they would have just fucking stolen it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is
I
that you
know.
would have.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, exactly. I wish they would have just fucking stolen it all the way. Because now so many Kias have been getting fucking stolen in this city that
Now you have to worry about it.
That too. But every fucking auto repair shop I call, they're like, yeah, we're not taking any more Kias because we don't have the parts because so many are getting stolen.
It's fucked.
Apparently, there's a way to like get a USB and like put a USB in and like override the entire system and steal it.
Are you gonna get one of those steering wheel locks?
Yes,
Okay.
I am.
Good.
I know. I don't have another option at this point.
That's gonna be such a bitch to take on and off.
I looked at the videos and it doesn't look that bad.
Okay,
I think I
good.
can handle it, but it is a pain in the ass regardless.
Oh my god. Well, I hope you feel better after ranting about it on the podcast.
I do.
now.
I feel a lot better. And our Patreon is patreon.com/nightclassy if you want to financially support me in these trying times.
I was about to say the same thing. We need, guys, it won't even go back into the show anymore. It's
No.
all going towards Kat's window.
No, and my Venmo is cat-barnart. So if you're feeling extra generous.
Oh, yeah, she needs it. She needs it.
Just
Well-
kidding. All right. Well, you want to tell us some fun things about Miami?
Okay, yes, there's one thing specifically. So I went for my friend's bachelorette party. It was so fun. I literally died one of the nights. If you were there, you were there. And shout out to Liz Johns, first of all, for promoting the podcast any chance she gets. She said that she, like, anytime someone's talking about podcasts or, like, asking for recommendation, she asks for Night Classy or recommends it. So thank you, Liz Johns. I got an awesome video of her, like, drunkenly doing a sales pitch.
Are you going to play it down, or do you want to play it at the end?
We can play it at the end.
Okay.
But I did want to share. So we played this game where we all bought the bride lingerie. Some of it was actual lingerie, some of it was like silly lingerie. Like, I got her a huge pair of underwear that had 4 leg holes, so it's like her and the groom can be in them at the same time. So things like that. And then we went around and thought of names for each of these sets of lingerie, and then Mitch is going to pick from one of them on their wedding night, and that's what she's going to wear. So
she's going to tell you guys what one he picks, right?
Yeah, she is.
Good.
We've all bet on it.
Oh, fun. I love that game.
Me too. I thought so many good ideas for any future bachelorette party plannings or ones for us. But I was really proud because I thought of a lot of the names, so I thought I'd share some of them. Do you want to hear all of them or just the ones that I thought of?
The
good.
ones you've thought of, unless there's like a particularly funny one.
Okay.
That you didn't.
Because
think
now
of.
I'm not remembering which. I know for sure. Okay, there was a black lingerie that had like pinkish, purplish accents. And they were like, oh, it looks like raspberries. So I said, razzle my berries.
Oh, cute. I like that.
We got that one, razzle my berries. There was and I don't remember if this was me or not. But anyways, really cute. It's like a schoolgirl outfit. The skirt is so short. It's like non-existent. But that one's name is Teach Me a Lesson.
Inappropriate for this podcast.
Inappropriate.
I feel like as a teacher, I can't entertain
Teacher
the concept
fantasies.
of schoolgirl lingerie. That feels very inappropriate.
I think it's fine. I mean, we're already talking about lingerie,
That's
but
true.
you know, you do you.
Yeah, and all she said was teach me a lesson. Like, we teach lessons.
You're like,
right?
whoa.
It's true.
Okay, there was an all blue one that I named Blue Balls, which hopefully does not end up happening.
He's not going to want to pick that one.
But it came with a little, like, it looks like a cat toy, one of those little whips that has like feathers. And I was like, okay, so like a little teasing, you know?
Uh-huh.
May I ask, is it a known thing that lingerie has funny names?
No, that's not a thing.
That's
Okay.
not.
This is
just a random game
Okay.
that was made up. Okay, this one I can't remember if I named it or not, but it's like white and it has daisies on it. Very cute. Deflower me.
Oh, perfect for a wedding night.
Yes,
because she's a virgin.
That was the running theme. She's a virgin. And then the pair of underwear that I got her was so much room for activities. I did not think of that, but I thought it was good.
That's a
and
good
then
one.
the groom's name is Mitch, so I was like, I just thought of it today. It's like, it should have been so Mitch room for activities.
Oh, yeah, it should have been.
She
It's not
should
too late
change
to change
It's not
it.
too late. Yeah. But it was so fun, so insanely crazy. But I'm here and I'm alive. And since I blew a .053, I think that some of the alcohol is still residing in me.
Well, I
scared.
blew a .040, so I go first.
No, but you can if you want to.
Oh my
I've gone
God.
first the last couple of
I
times.
was so sure this time.
Oh my God.
Yeah, just whatever you think is like so true when we're doing the breathalyzer math, just opposite.
I
Just
promise
right
I'm
away.
not doing this on purpose. Like, I know it's like a funny joke to act like you're dumb, but I just am dumb. And
That's negative self-talk.
You're not dumb. You just, for some
In
reason,
this
cannot
way.
solidify the breathalyzer. Maybe it's the decimal that's tripping you up. Maybe I don't.
I've explained my reasoning, and that is my reasoning.
It's all back. Yeah,
I
okay.
think, you know what I think it is like first place goes first. So in my mind, the lower number goes first. But that's not our original logic.
You're trying to golf it.
Yeah. What can I say? I'm a golfer. Big fan. All right, go ahead, Hayley.
No,
take it away.
You can go. I think
No,
I've
I
got
don't need
lots-
to. I don't need to go.
The triple
Okay.
streak Wow.
Wow.
I'm going to hear about this tonight.
Yeah, you are. She set you up to balance it out, and now...
And she said no.
You
She
said no.
batted it
You
away.
said no.
I didn't say no.
She recommended you
Because-
go first.
Oh.
I could have saved it. I could have saved it if I had not read my number first.
Listen, I already closed my laptop.
Okay, I'll go. But please know, I already told you guys this. This is another dark lesson this week. We have a true crime in the house just because I wanted to.
All right, so we're
And
going to start dark.
we're gonna start
We're
dark.
gonna start dark, and I have a nice, light, sweet one to finish this off.
All right.
All right.
Creamy and sweet.
Ew. I
Name
don't know.
of a
It just felt
lingerie
like,
line.
Yeah, I'm still like, my brain is still set to like sex mode. So I hear creamy and sweet. I guess that wouldn't be ew. That would not be you. That'd be like ew.
It depends on who you're asking, I guess.
I'm asking you.
Oh, I
Give
I
your
don't think I
opinion.
want anything in my mouth right now,
Okay.
except for this pumpkin cider.
All right, that's fair. All right, let's get into it. January 3rd, 1935, around 1:20 p.m., a man checked into the Hotel President in Kansas City, which, let me just start off by saying, I hate when places are named things like that. Like, I think it should be President Hotel, not Hotel President. And same thing as like Hotel Cecil.
Yeah,
I hate that. It's confusing. for some
hotel
reason.
president sounds like, oh, that's the person that owns the hotel. It's
Yes.
the hotel president.
It's not the name of the hotel.
Yeah.
And if it is, it should be, if they want to structure it like that, they should make it Spanish, like Hotel Presidente. I think for some reason
Yeah.
that's more clear as a name.
No, I'm with you.
I don't know why it's that way in my mind, but I'm glad that you're following. All right. This guy checks in. He specifically requests an interior room several floors up. He didn't want to be anywhere near the ground. And his name is Ronald T. Owen. He's estimated to be anywhere between 20 to 35 years old, which is a big range.
That's rough.
He has range.
That's like when I ask my students how old they think I am, and it's like anywhere between 16 and 45.
Yeah. It's
You
like
get all of it.
you either look really good for your age or you look really bad for your age.
One of my coworkers had red hair, and she came in this morning and it was like dyed blonde. And one of the kids was like, wow, it looks so good. You look younger. She's like 22. She's like, okay, I'll take
Younger.
it. Yeah. I'm like,
Okay.
how old did you think she was?
Seriously,
Yeah.
that's like one of the youngest ages you can be as a
It
teacher.
pretty much is. Yeah.
That's so funny. Also, I can't imagine what she had to go through to go from red to blonde.
Well,
over
I
the
think she
weekend.
has naturally blonde hair, so it was just like stripping the color and then putting in some highlights.
okay.
Pretty sure.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ronald T. Owen has brown hair. He either looks young or old. We're not sure. He has this vicious scar on his temple that like it goes into his hairline, and his hair no longer grows there. It's very noticeable. And he also has a cauliflower ear. So because of his ear, they suspect that he was a professional boxer or a wrestler, and you just had a click of like recognition.
I've heard. I recognize that I've heard this before. It's a cold case, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Wow. Spoiler alert.
Sorry.
Jesus Christ.
Well, I hope
I'm
you
sorry.
don't
She
remember.
really can't help herself.
I'm sorry. I didn't even think I was doing anything wrong, and now I realize it. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
To be fair, I almost started this off by being like, so this is a cold case.
Yeah, I feel like that's not really a spoiler. It'd be a spoiler if I was like, it was the president of the hotel.
Yeah, if you gave it away.
Yeah.
But a little bit of a spoiler. But that's okay.
Thanks,
that's okay. I hope you don't remember too much of it. But I heard this story and I was like, ooh, this is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So Owen was dressed in a nice black coat, but he brought no luggage. He could not breathe. No luggage. The bellboy escorted Owen to the room on the 10th floor, and he was like, where's your baggage? Do I need to go and get it? And Owen takes out of his pockets. He's like, I've got my brush, my comb, and my toothpaste. That's
What else
all
could
that
you
I
need? Did he have a toothbrush?
I think so. Yes, he had his toothbrush, comb, and toothpaste.
Okay. I'm glad he wasn't finger brushing.
You cannot finger brush. If you're going to drop everything else but the absolute essentials, you can't finger brush. You have to have the brush.
A brush,
Or
a
he has a
comb, and
comb.
toothpaste.
Yeah,
and you thought he was finger brushing?
A brush as in hairbrush.
Yeah,
is what
I
I
didn't-
thought.
And then a comb?
And I would bring a brush and a comb.
Teeth comb.
Yeah, it's his tooth comb.
It's floss. It's the precursor. Okay.
Hello, sharks.
It's called a teeth comb. it's floss.
And then he just uses a comb to store the floss or he uses his hair for the floss. And then the comb is like the holder.
Or you comb your hair and then that makes strands of hair fall out and then you have some floss.
That's what I said.
Oh. Sorry.
Well, I thought that part was intuitive. I did not say that.
I was going to say, I didn't get that at all, but
I said use the hair as the floss. You have the comb already.
Everyone but us probably got it. So
what is wrong with
I'm
us?
sorry I
Is it
explained
just
the
hot
joke.
in here?
I don't know. It's a Monday again. Last week was chaotic because it was Monday and now we're back.
Mondays are so crazy.
It's so wild how weird Mondays are, you guys.
Okay, so the maid of the hotel, Mary Soptic, she asked to clean the room when Owen got there, which I'm like, oh my gosh, she didn't clean the room yet. If I was just getting in, I'd be like, oh, you didn't clean the room yet? But I don't know. Maybe it's just her schedule.
Then I would have yelled at her and called
You
the
would have
manager.
Karen'd out. You would have called a hotel president. Hey.
No.
I wouldn't have either. I would have silently just been like, ugh,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, I would have silently seethed.
Yeah,
But not
it's
said
just-
anything.
It's a little annoying, but it's not worth like being a bitch about.
No, very few things are worth being a bitch about.
Exactly. So Owen lets her in, but he asked her, he's like, can you please just not lock the door behind you? Because I have some friends that are coming to visit. They should be here in a couple minutes, next 30 minutes or so. And the weird thing is that the doors, you could only lock them from the outside.
What?
Which is why he asked her to not lock
at a
it behind her.
hotel?
At a hotel.
What happens if you lock it from the outside? Can he knock it out?
He can unlock it from the outside, but he cannot lock it. I don't know how it
Weird.
works.
Okay.
Maybe he can't unlock it from the outside. I don't know. But all I know is that, and I reread this several times to be clear, and it's in multiple sources, can only lock it from the outside.
Okay.
Very weird.
Yeah.
Right? Hellish, some might say. So in the room, the blinds were shut and the curtains were drawn really tight and all of the lights were off except for one very dim lamp, which is something that the maid recalled later on. Other members of the staff also recalled the dimness of the room as well. I don't think it's that weird, but within context, it's like, okay, that's interesting. And eventually Mary returns like 2 hours later around 4 p.m. with some towels. And when she returns, Owen was laying fully dressed in bed with the door still unlocked. And outside of the door, there was a note that read, quote, "Dawn, I will be back in 15 minutes. Wait." We don't really know what that means, but she's like, okay. The next day, Mary was back to clean Owen's room around 10:30 a.m. And the door had been locked, but that's pretty normal. Mary assumed that Owen had just left and locked it behind him. But when she entered the room using her own hotel key, Owen was still there, just sitting with the lights off. And since you can only lock the door from the outside, it means somebody must have locked him in there.
He couldn't have opened the door, locked it, and then shut it like it was like a deadbolt.
I guess it could have been that. I could
that
not
makes
find
no
extra
sense.
information.
That makes absolutely no sense. Like you need the maid to lock the door for you and lock you in at night, and then how do you get out?
They must have been able to lock it from the outside. That must be true because
And they
I can't
must
think
have
of
they
any
must have been
other-
able to lock it from the inside.
All the sources said that you could only
then-
lock it from the outside.
But then it wouldn't be that weird if he like is going to bed, so he opens the door, locks it from the outside, and then shuts it, and then go to bed.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know either. That's
I don't
weird.
know. I need to know about hotel president. But to be honest with y'all, these notes, I knew I was doing this topic did not bring my laptop this weekend. Also, this weekend was a not a non-working weekend. So
That's okay.
I
I have enough notes to carry the team.
You're like, so let the door thing go.
Yeah, shut up about the door, Kat. Have I not told you I don't know? I'm telling you everything. But it is weird. There must be something about it because of all the sources that said the door can only be locked from the outside. So just weird. We'll follow up about it. I'll look during the break. So while Mary is cleaning the room, Owen took a phone call. And while he's on the phone, he says, "No, Dawn, I don't want to eat. I'm not hungry. I just had breakfast. I'm not hungry." And that's it. Around 4 p.m., Mary returned with fresh towels and overheard two men inside of the room. So she knocks on the door, and this deep voice that she's fairly certain is not Owen's voice replies, "Who is it?" And she's like, "I have fresh towels. Let me in." And the voice is like, "We don't need any." And she knew for a fact that there were no towels in the room because she didn't come around with them until that time. And she had already taken the dirty ones from the morning. So a woman in 1048 and Owen was in 1046, so his neighbor, reported hearing loud voices, both male and female, that were cursing. And there also was a party going on down the hall in 1055. So there's just an arrangement of different weird noises. So the next morning, January 4th, around 7 a.m., the day had just begun, and the hotel manager notices in room 1046, Owen's room, the phone had been off the hook, but it wasn't being used. So the hotel manager sends up the bellboy props to see what's going on. And room 1046's door was locked, and there was a do not disturb sign hanging, but he's like, "I have to disturb you. Like, we've got to figure out what's going on with the phone here." So he knocks on the door, and a voice from the other side says, "Come in, turn on the lights."
Turn on the lights. Ew.
I know.
Ew.
He's just
That's
been, like,
creepy.
in darkness, and it's like, turn on the lights yourself?
Yeah. And why do you want me to turn on the... That's weird.
I know. But the door was locked.
But doesn't it only lock and unlock from the outside? Can't he open it?
He didn't bring his key with him,
okay.
so he couldn't get in, and he could hear that no one was getting up to let him in, despite his like continued knocking, because he was still knocking. He's like, "We got to get this phone taken care of." So through the door, he shouts, "Put the phone back on the hook," and he just assumes that Owen was drunk, and he's like, "Ugh, whatever."
Yeah.
An hour and a half goes by, and the phone is still off the hook. So another bellboy used the general hotel key to actually let himself into room 1046 this time. And he opens it up and he sees Owen in bed, naked and seemingly drunk. The room is only illuminated by the hallway light. It was completely dark within the hotel room. And the bedding around Owen appeared darkened. He's like, "I don't know. Did he piss the bed?" The phone stand was knocked over, so the bellboy went over and just propped it up and then went on his way.
Ugh, how creepy. That poor bellboy. He should not have had to go in there and do that.
I know. I'd be like, this is totally hotel manager.
Yeah, this is not my job. My job is to, I don't know what a bellboy does, open the
baggage,
door.
the door. This is the guy that had no baggage. So this is really,
really
not my job.
not his jurisdiction.
It's like 10 to 20 cents above my pay grade. So yeah, he had to deal with that again. 10:30, the phone is knocked off the hook again.
Imagine how fucking pissed you'd be.
Oh my God.
I'd be this guy needs to get kicked out of the hotel.
I would ignore
for
him.
a myriad of reasons, but this is the last straw.
They should have never let him in not having luggage. That's
That's
probably
a big
classist,
red
but that's a
flag.
huge red flag.
Yeah.
Maybe if he was like, "My flight lost my luggage," but it's
That's
the
true.
1930s, so no
airplanes
excuse.
didn't exist. Just kidding.
When did they exist?
I
Surely
don't
there was
know.
not like a
Wasn't
ton of
I guess
domestic.
they were in the
flights,
early
right?
stages, right? Or they had
They had planes,
Airplanes.
for sure.
Yeah, they could fly.
okay.
But were there... Am I dumb?
No, world is Because they
Did they
didn't
have
have them in
domestic
World War
flights?
One, right?
They were being developed then, but they
Okay,
didn't
so
have
they
them.
Were
probably
they-
didn't have like passenger planes in the 1920s.
Yes, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
This is in 1935. Did they have?
Didn't Lindbergh's baby get abducted in the 20s? And Lindbergh was a pilot who flew around the world?
I don't know.
I'll look it
What
up.
is that? Okay.
I'll look it up.
Anyway, I think it's a red flag to not have luggage and just carry it around. That's probably wrong of me, but it's just weird.
If you're there, because it sounds like he's there for what now, like 3 nights?
Mm-hmm.
He needs luggage. And if you come in without luggage and you're in there for 3 nights, you'd think
It's just
like that's strange.
it's strange. I don't know if he left or not. It seems like maybe he left one of the days but then came back. Just a mystery man. So the bellboy props went back to resolve the situation. And when he opened the door, he said what he saw was, quote, "This man was within 2 feet of the door on his knees and elbows, holding his head in his hands. I noticed blood on his head. I then turned the light on. I looked around and saw blood on the walls, on the bed, and in the bathroom.
Oh my God.
This frightened me, and I immediately left the room and went downstairs."
He ran.
I would run too.
Oh, same. Easily. I would
pass
never.
out,
I would never
actually.
have gone in there. Like, not that it's his fault in any way, but I would have been too scared.
Yeah, I'd be
I'm a
so
coward.
scared.
Yeah.
I would have instantly passed out.
Yeah.
I don't think I could have even run away.
I mean,
Like,
that's
peace out.
so terrifying. Are there any pictures of this?
I don't think so. None that I saw in my
Okay.
research. But Alec, you should look up a picture
Yeah,
of
what's
him
the
if you
name?
can. Well,
Oh, okay.
just look up room 1046.
Okay.
And then you'll see a black and white picture of him. I guess I do have this one right here that you can see. Like, he doesn't even look real.
No, he looks like Batboy or something.
Yeah, he looks like a doll.
He has like superhero action figure hair.
Yeah.
It's like a
Very
very
weird,
distinct
right?
widow's peak and like smooth, round, shiny black hair.
And I'm like, maybe it's just like the photograph.
He
Yeah.
looks
Made him
very
look like that.
young too. He looks like he's like 17.
Girl.
Okay.
Real quick, just to chime in, the first passenger flight was in 1914. And
Shocking.
passenger flight became popular in the 20s and then into the 30s.
Okay, yeah.
So,
the
yeah, could've
Titanic
been.
sank and they were like, fuck that. We need to make airplanes happen now.
Never again. We will forget.
History repeats itself. It's not us, it's them. Okay. So Owen is fucked up, severely injured. He was tied up with trigger warning. Just trigger warning, general trigger warning for violence and scary things. He was tied up with a cord around his neck, wrist, and ankles. There was blood splattered on the ceiling, on the walls. It seems that he had been tortured. Like, they had been there for a while. There were multiple spots on his head, and it was very clear that his skull was fractured. So I'm assuming that it was just kind of open. He was also stabbed in the chest several times, and one of his lungs was punctured. Bruising on his neck also points to a possibility of strangulation, but he was still alive.
What?
Yeah. He was still alive. And if we think back, what I'm thinking is like that the bellboy thought that the bed sheets looked kind of dark and that maybe he had pissed the bed.
Blood.
It was probably blood. And like he had been there like that. So that's why I'm like, that's why he was knocking over the phone to try and get help. And each time they're just like, shut up about the phone. Put the phone back on.
And he's like mumbling stuff and he's lost so much blood he like can't even
he
talk.
can't even talk.
Oh my God.
So the detectives arrive at the hotel and ask Owen if there had been anyone inside the room. Owen replied, nobody.
What?
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, he's delusional or hallucinating at this point, having lost so much blood.
Yeah.
Or he's a liar. And they followed that up asking if he had done that to himself, to which he replied no. At this point, now going in and out of consciousness, he followed that up by saying, "I just fell against the bathtub."
Woof.
Weird, right?
Yeah.
So Owen then loses consciousness after that and was taken to the hospital, where he died a few hours later. So after looking over Owen and his injuries along with the dried blood, the doctor noticed the attack must have occurred around 6 to 7 hours before Owen was discovered. So sometime late night, early morning. There were no weapons found in the room. There was also no shampoo, conditioner, soap, or towels that the hotel provided. That was a weird detail that I'm like, either the maid forgot to put it in there or whoever was in there took it.
Yeah. I mean, I could see both ways because she forgot to clean it in the first place.
Whoa, maybe let's not maid shame.
I'm going to maid shame her. But what I'm saying is, if she forgot to clean it and then had to clean it really fast, she probably maybe didn't stock the soap.
Yeah.
Because she was rushing.
She never got a chance to bring the towels in.
Yeah.
Either.
Mm-hmm. Because, the shampoo could have gotten used and then the bottles thrown away and then didn't get replaced.
Yeah, it could be. That could definitely be. There's a picture of the room.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
Just a bunch of wood furniture.
YouTube.
Yeah, it looks like an old hotel room. There's no blood in that picture.
I want the blood. It's like when I went to visit, what is it called? I can't even remember. The place where Lincoln died. I mean, I guess we went to where he was shot too, but then there's that blood on the pillow. And I'm like, I like this way more than I should.
One of my favorite things is seeing historical homes recreated when you go to places like that. It's so fun to see.
Me too. We should go do, I don't know, some
just
tour
a
that does
historical
that.
tour.
Yeah, a historical tour.
Yeah. There's, you know what? There's all those mansions in Victorian Row here in Memphis, and they're exactly that. They're homes that have been recreated to look like they're Victorian homes, but they have they're a museum.
Let's do
basically.
it.
And you know what they do is in October, every weekend in October, they do overnight ghost hunts in those homes. So we got to do that.
We know what we're doing.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all.
Yes.
We have to actually do it though this year. Because I remember you talking about that when we first moved
I've talked
here.
about it every single year since we moved here, and I always forget to sign up.
Okay, well, we're doing it this
Okay.
year. Make a note, Alec. Please.
Noted.
All right, so there were no clothes either since Owen, just had what he was wearing. There were 4 fingerprints found on the phone stand that they suspected were female since they were, quote, so small. There was one of the hotel glasses that was provided with the room. A section of it was broken off and it was laying in the sink. So it was just a glass shard and the cup in the sink, as well as a hairpin, a safety pin, an unsmoked cigarette, and a full bottle of diluted sulfuric acid.
What?
Yeah.
Did they use that for anything?
It was
else?
full. It was full. There was nothing.
Why would someone have that? Is
I
there
don't
a reason?
know. I have no idea what. Acne?
Oh, maybe.
Just burn your
Yeah.
face off. You don't need it.
Warts.
We know about those.
Oh, I do.
So the detectives are like, all right, we don't have much for clues, but also who is this man that got killed? Owen told the staff that he was from Los Angeles, but there was no record of a Ronald T. Owen in Los Angeles. So they're like, okay, he's definitely using an alias. Fuck. I should have just stuck with it. I know that's one of my words that I struggle with. So he's definitely using an alias, and they decided to place his body up for viewing at the Melody McGilly funeral home.
I love that they used to do that.
Just whoever.
They used to just put dead bodies in windows for people to hopefully identify.
Yeah. What else were they going to do?
That's true. I guess.
I can't really complain,
Yeah. I'm not complaining. I think it's a great idea.
Bring
it's just
it back.
Imagine just walking home from school and it's oh, there's a new dead body in the window. Let me stop and see if it's my dad.
Oh my
what?
God. There was that TikTok video I did about Carl Tanzler and his bride, and there was this 12-year-old is what they looked like from their profile picture in their videos that was like, you need to like warn us if you're gonna show a dead body. And I was like, that's fair. But also at that point, she was literally a mummy. Like, she's all wrapped up. So I said that. And I'm like thinking now, man, people have gotten so fucking soft.
Yeah. She has no idea what it's like for there to just be a dead body in a window. Today on TikTok, I sent this to our group chat, but you guys didn't respond. So maybe it's not as funny as I thought it was.
I didn't see it.
Oh, okay.
I didn't see it.
I made a video about George A. Markov, the umbrella murder guy, and I was saying Georgie, and someone comments, George is one syllable. Like, do you really think I'm mispronouncing George?
And that's what TikTok is like.
It's I don't know if it's because we're female and people just like to correct us, but any time I post a TikTok, half the comments are trying to correct me on something. Most of the time, I didn't even say anything wrong. They're just correcting me for no reason, or I like leave out some information because the video has to be 2 minutes long. And they're like, you forgot to say this. I didn't fucking forget. I didn't have time.
Yeah, dude, the whole reason we're on here is to promote these 1.5 hour episodes that we work our asses off to research and get the details, except for the locking door in the hotel. So that we can bring you over from the 2-minute video.
It's just wild. Like, why? What is this need to... People love correcting on TikTok.
They do.
It doesn't happen on any other platform. Maybe it's like how many like children are on TikTok. Maybe it's the children.
Yeah, kids
they like
annoying.
to be know-it-alls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how you know that it must be a child or something, because they're like, it's pronounced George.
I just learned that last week. I met someone named George.
Right.
Yeah.
That's one of the most common names. Like, obviously.
Fucking obviously I know how to pronounce
so far
George.
above your head that the name is not even George.
Yeah.
Jesus.
That was just wild to me. I was like, this is just TikTok in a nutshell.
I'm sorry I didn't respond
No,
to
it's
that.
okay. I think we both sent a text at like the same time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I struggle so hard when people text me videos, even in
It wasn't
Instagram,
a video,
but like things like attachments, I guess is what I'm saying. I just don't want to click on it. I don't know why. I never want to click on things people send me.
I don't want to click on videos or links either.
And then I do, though. And I'm like, that was good. That was so good.
That was worth it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, sorry it took me 3 days to open up that message.
It makes me panic for some reason as well. I don't know why.
It feels like it's going to be a big commitment going into it.
I think that's what it is. It's like, now I have to watch this and respond to it.
Yeah. And there's that expectation behind it that like they thought of me and sent it to me.
I need to come up with a good response.
Yeah.
I can't just like it.
Why is friendship hard?
Listen, friendship is so hard.
I'm
the worst
and in
at
the
friendship.
digital age, so many people called me for my birthday yesterday.
Wow,
I did not pick
popular.
up. I did not pick up for a single one.
Good for you. That is living your truth. It's your birthday. You shouldn't have to talk on the phone.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
And also I just like, I couldn't for some of them. I was on the flight and I was hungover still from Friday night, and yet my birthday was Sunday. It was just a lot going on. I was like, I can't talk to people right now, but it's my right to not answer the phone.
And I don't know a single person who likes talking on the phone, I guess, besides
my
like,
grandmother.
my family. Yeah, that's true. Older family.
So each day this week, I'm going to have to make like 2 calls per week to catch back up.
That's
with
like
people.
the birthday punishment.
It is the birthday punishment. So I'd rather get like spanked however old I'm turning. And I know that it's the thought, like I know people also don't want to talk on the phone. It's nice, but like be way nicer and text me.
Yeah. The thing is though, after I'm talking to someone on the phone and like, that was good. I'm glad we caught up. But for some reason, the act of picking up the phone
it's so
for
hard.
a phone call, it's impossible.
So anyway, thank you for everyone who called me.
No, fuck you. Just kidding.
Thank you for calling me. I will call you back. I love you so much. Okay, so back to the learning journey. They put Owen's body out for somebody to identify him. More and more people are also reaching out to the funeral home, hoping to see if their missing loved one was this body, but none of them were. And the police's next focus was to find this Don person that Owen kept talking about during his stay. And the note said, just wait here, Don.
Was it Don?
D-O-N.
Okay, so a man, presumably.
Yeah, presumably a man. They assumed that he was the man that the maid heard, but their search was unsuccessful. They did not have a lot to go on to start out with. And since no one was claiming the body and he had been like sitting in the funeral fridge for like 2 months at that point, he's announced
got freezer burn.
He's for sure got freezer burn. They're like, we don't want to look at him anymore. Let's just bury him.
Like, ew, blood.
Ew.
Mop it up.
Mop it up. That is so funny. I love when you bring that up. You do such a good job. Mop it up. So they have to bury him, but no one wants to pay for his funeral. So they decide to put him in a potter's field. I learned that vocab word this week. It is a burial ground for people who can't afford to be buried. So it's like, if you're poor, you get put in the poor cemetery, which is called the potter's field.
Still burying you anyway. Just put you in a good cemetery.
Literally,
why do we have to call it this?
Yeah, they have to distinguish between, the people who can afford it and those who can't. And also, they're wildly expensive.
Burial plots
and burial plots.
Yeah.
Just the whole thing. It's expensive to die.
Burn me or donate me. Cremating is honestly expensive too. Just to do it. I literally
throw me out. Donate me.
Put me in the trash.
Is it? Oh God. Is it expensive to donate your body?
No, you can usually donate it for free.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fine.
If you live within the radius of a donation center, they'll pick it up for free.
I wonder if they would pick us up from Memphis to go over to Knoxville.
Probably. Maybe. Actually, I don't know.
I don't know either. Yeah. Well, we'll have to research. Hopefully we have plenty of time. Okay, so they're going to bury him. They announce it. And then someone calls the funeral home and they're like, put the funeral on my tab. That boy needs a proper funeral.
Whoa. Is it Dawn?
I don't know. I don't know who it is. I literally don't. And a few weeks later, money wrapped up in newspaper arrives from this anonymous sender. So they're like, okay, funeral paid for. He gets buried in a proper cemetery, if you will. There's also anonymous flowers that end up being placed on Owen's grave and a card that said, "Love forever, Louise."
Ooh.
Weird, right?
Louise.
That was my dental hygienist name. And she was so mean. And
why are dental hygienists always mean?
Yeah, what do they have? Like, what's wrong? You have a good job.
They're on their feet all day. I'd get cranky too.
I guess.
I'd looking in people's mouth. They have bad breath.
Fuck up my gums like that. You have a mask on. At least you should.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm gonna give Louise some slack.
And the thing with Louise for us was that she was friends with my grandma. So it's not like we could just go to a different dentist or request a new person. Mm-hmm. They had been friends forever.
Yeah.
So it was fucked. It was honestly a terrible situation.
I'm so sorry you went through that.
You should be. I'm having flashbacks right now. Okay. So he's buried. A year and a half goes by. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Until this woman in Alabama, Ruby Ogletree, was reading an article which chronicled the Owen case. And she's like, oh my God, I know that scar anywhere. That scar that he had on his temple and forehead.
Yeah.
It was her son.
Whoa.
Yeah. He had run away from Birmingham the year before in 1934 to hitchhike to California. His real name was Artemus Ogletree, and he was 17 years old at the time.
Listen,
you fucking nailed that.
I nailed
shit.
it so hard.
I'm so proud of you.
It was honestly probably like a residual memory from when I've heard this case before.
No. Don't talk about that. Don't talk about that. Just be a genius.
Okay.
Genius forever. Ruby continued to receive letters, though, from Owen/Artemus after he ran away. So they were in contact with each other. She received some as far away stating that he was in Egypt.
What?
even after,
if he was in Egypt, he did not go back to Kansas. I'm
Hell
sorry.
no.
Hell
no. But also the thing was that after he died, she continued to receive letters.
That's so creepy.
Something's weird. And then a caller from Memphis, Tennessee, they told Ruby that Artemus had saved his life in a fight and that Artemus was now living in Cairo, which is why he couldn't call. But he also couldn't write to her because he lost both of his thumbs in that fight.
That's what happens in a fight. They rip off your thumbs.
You've got to go for the thumbs because how else are you really going to make someone regret fighting you?
It's the only
There's
way.
no better way.
What do you value more than your thumbs?
Nothing. Literally nothing else. My thumbs are everything to me and everyone knows that. And if you don't, you're a fucking fake liar. So... But it's okay, though, because Owen/Artemis married a healthy woman and a healthy and wealthy woman.
Oh, wow.
And they're,
I am
doubling
healthy.
down.
I am wealthy. I am rich.
I am that bitch. She does what she wants to do. And they're doing great in Cairo,
Okay.
Egypt.
I believe it.
I do too.
Waterproof.
I think it's best case scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Ruby said that the person was erratic and irrational, but seemed to have firsthand knowledge about Artemis that she felt no one else would know. And if he had gone to Egypt, it was under a false name because there were no records of him traveling with any ships, airlines, anything like that.
Yeah. He didn't go to Egypt.
No, absolutely not. Which is, and also it's like, yeah, obviously that person is lying and probably has something to do with this.
I feel like
no.
To me, like my theory is if it was like some kind of domestic violence thing, like his boyfriend killed him and like covered his tracks, like knowing enough about this guy because it was his boyfriend to like write to his mom.
Yeah, I think it definitely was someone who knew him well.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about the different
and
theories.
like it makes sense, like because like as an abuser, like you're fucked up, but you might like still want him to have a good funeral and leave flowers on his grave and stuff like that, you know,
Still
like
care
if you are
about
in
them.
like you might think you still care about him, you know, even after you did something horrible like killing him.
You're so right. I think that's a great theory. Another weird thing was that the letters that she received after his death, which she didn't know it at the time because she found out, you know, a year and a half later.
Yeah.
They were typed, which was weird because Artemis was described by his mom as a, quote, simple boy.
Oh, no.
And he didn't know how to type. And she said that he spoke very plainly, but these letters were written and they were written in more of a literary language rather than just casual tongue.
I mean, there's been some time. He could have read some books.
I guess so. He didn't bring any with him to the hotel.
It's true.
So the theories are that this guy, Don, acted alone and ended up beating Artemis to death. Like you said, maybe it was a romantic relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he was an abuser.
I mean, with the flowers and the writing to the mom and the funeral, that's what it feels like to me. Like, I feel like it was like an older guy who was an abuser and his boyfriend.
I think that's a great theory, and I didn't see that in anything that I read.
Okay.
But it wouldn't be shocking to me, and I think that that's really thinking outside the box. And at the time, you know, they would not assume that Artemis
and like
was gay.
maybe he ran away, you know, because he was
yeah, he's like
struggling with his sexuality
Mm-hmm.
in wherever he, like a small town in Florida,
in Alabama,
in
Birmingham.
yeah. Like no wonder he wanted to go to California. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I'm putting a lot on him. This is all speculation.
Sure,
but I don't know. Just the flowers and the funeral thing, like, really makes me think that like it was a domestic violence situation where like they were in a close relationship and he killed him.
Yeah, there's another domestic theory. So there were these sensational articles published years after Ogletree died, speculating that he was killed for cheating on his fiance. When they announced that he would be buried in a potter's field, there was that anonymous caller to fund his funeral. And one article says that the situation went a little bit differently than what everyone else says, but they said that apparently a woman called the local paper to say, quote, "You have a story in your paper that is wrong. Ronald Owen will not be buried in a pauper's grave. Arrangements have been made for his funeral." And then when asked to identify herself, she said, "Never mind. I know what I'm talking about. He got into a jam," and hung up.
Oh, weird.
And then while this mystery woman was on the phone, at the same time she was on the phone, this guy called the funeral home and said essentially the same thing, also stating that way Owen's body would be, when they buried him in the cemetery, that his body would be near his sister. And that he would send the money to cover the cost. So he was the guy who was covering it. He went on to explain that Owen/Artemus had rejected a girl that he was engaged to, that Artemus was engaged to. Other sources say that this man told the funeral director that he, the fiance, and the side-hoe had all arranged Artemis's death as revenge. Different sources say different things. It seems like it's just kind of messy. And honestly, I don't know if any of it is true. I think it's probably all just a lot of speculation. And in room 1046, Owen, the man, and the rejected girl had a meeting in that city. And before hanging up, this guy said, "Cheaters usually get what's coming to them."
Okay.
That same day, the Rock Floral Company got a call for a flower delivery to send to his funeral, and the voice added, quote, "I'm doing this for my sister." So it seems like maybe the sister was engaged to Artemis, and
did
the
they
brother
ever
messed him up.
Investigate that family?
No.
What the fuck? Why?
It seems like they did a light dusting of investigation, but it never really came to anything because, there's no caller ID. They wouldn't say who they were.
Yeah.
They have no other way to track them. I'm sure that they had to send a check probably in the mail to the floral company.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe they just came in and paid in cash.
But then you should be able to have someone identify them.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the 1930s were different.
I guess so.
That it wasn't quite as easy.
What?
Yeah. Even in not even recent, but in the 1950s, there were several cycles of detectives that went to look at this case, and they're like, yeah, we don't know.
We don't know, but also with all this random stuff, it should have been solved, I feel.
Yeah, I think there were a lot of more missed opportunities.
Yeah. Do you ever wish you could go back in time and be the best detective in the world?
No.
All you have to do is listen to one true crime podcast and you're a better detective
Let me
than
get theories.
anyone until the last 30 years.
I think that would be highly valuable for detectives to listen to, and I'm sure a lot of them do, listen to true crime podcasts, because these are the people that have consumed the most content and media about it, and they have these ideas that maybe are outside of the box. And I know that detectives are trained to kind of think,
but it always helps to hear someone else's perspective. Did you see that guy, the podcast Serial did an episode on this guy and brought up how a lot of the charges and everything, the evidence didn't check out, and all charges against him were dropped, and he's been in prison for a while. Mm-hmm.
Wow. How did that, do you know how that came to be?
No,
that
I just saw headlines and I didn't listen to the episode, so I'm speaking out of my ass right now, but it just
Wait,
it applies to that.
Adnan is free?
Is that him?
I don't know. I haven't listened to the podcast.
You didn't listen to Serial?
No.
I wonder
wow.
if that's you need to
That's
listen
big.
to that.
Is it
That's
they've only had
huge.
one season on one guy?
They did 2 or 3 seasons, but they're totally separate.
It's one guy that they covered.
Girl,
I need
this
to
is
listen, I
a
know.
true crime staple.
I know. I need to listen.
You need to. But now that we're saying that you need to listen, you're never gonna.
I'm gonna. I need a new podcast.
Okay, we'll listen to that.
Okay.
Okay, I have 2 more theories. Okay. The second theory is that this guy, Don, did it, but that he didn't act alone. They think that this theory is a thing because the elevator operator saw someone who he assumed was a sex worker. Some hotel staff were familiar with her, and she often had various men coming and going. She went to the 10th floor on the night that Artemus was murdered. The operator claims that she was looking for room 1026 to meet a man, and that possibly Ogletree had just like told her the wrong number for the room or something like that.
Wasn't there a party or something that night too?
There was a party that night. Yeah. She was seen again later with a man on the 9th floor. They're thinking possibly Don. And since there were fingerprints from a possible female, and the next door neighbor from 1046 did report hearing both a female and a male voice, they're like, maybe it was Don and this woman. They're not sure. But then there's also the idea that organized crime was considered, since Don also just means the boss of a mafia family. There was a time where the police thought that they had solved this case in conjunction with another one, because in 1937, the New York Police Department arrested a man named Joseph Martin after he killed a man and tried to ship him in a trunk to Memphis. And one of the aliases they found out that this guy had used was Donald Queso. Or Queso. Not sure. Apparently,
I'm going to believe it's queso.
Queso.
That's my new alias.
Donald Queso. Yeah. It's
Alex's middle name is Donald, by the way, everyone.
Yeah.
That's why that's his alias.
Sorry. Apparently, they matched the handwriting of Joseph to the letters that Ruby, Artemis's mom, received, but no charges were ever presented in the Artemis case. Different detectives reviewed the case throughout the 50s, but no new evidence was uncovered and it went cold. The last bit of information I have is that in the early 2000s, this guy went through the case and everything that he could find about it and wrote, I think, a book on it, or at least several lengthy articles. His name is Dr. John Horner. And he received a call from someone claiming to have found a box in this deceased person's house. They volunteered for cleaning crews when somebody died. They went in and helped the family get everything taken care of. Well, he found this box, and in this box there's a collection of newspaper clippings about the murder and something else, he said, that had been referenced in the newspaper articles, but the caller would not say what it was, and then they hung up. And Dr. Horner was never able to get in contact with this person ever again, and it seemed that they disappeared into obscurity.
What?
Yeah, and we all know.
So they found newspaper clippings and something else.
And something else, and we don't know what it is.
That's not fair.
It's not normal to collect a bunch of very specific newspaper clippings.
Not at all.
That is murder behavior.
Did he just hang up? Or
yeah, he just hung up.
Dang, I wonder if someone walked in.
I know.
Ooh.
And almost all of the details in this learning journey, the case remains a mystery.
No, I just want to know.
I know. My sources are The Creepy Murder in Room 1046 by BuzzFeed Unsolved, the Wikipedia page for Murder of Artemus Ogletree, and where is the other one? I'm sorry. And also the infographic show Mystery of Room 1046.
Wow, good job.
Real quick, before we sign off, 41 minutes ago, conviction of Adnan Syed, the serial podcast case, is overturned and judge orders him to be released.
Thank God.
He's totally free.
Oh my God.
That's nuts.
That's a huge, wow. And Serial obviously had a huge hand in that.
Oh my God.
She went in and fucking did that groundwork research.
Yeah. I can't believe you've never listened.
I know. It's been in the back of my mind for a long time, but I just never think to click on it.
Yeah. I didn't listen until March this year. Okay. So it just seemed like such a big case.
Yeah, it's overwhelming. Yeah. I need to do
a little
bit
at a time.
Okay. I will. And I'm sure they're going to be getting a a lot of downloads now that this happened. I'll be one of them.
Ride the wave.
Yeah. Hey.
Honestly, it'll be way more satisfying listening to it, knowing that he gets out.
Yeah, that's true. Because I do hate listening to podcasts about people who are unfairly locked up.
Oh, I thought you were about to say I hate cold cases.
No,
Don't we all, though?
But it makes me so sad. Like, I can't imagine being in prison knowing I didn't do it and just like
in your
rotting away in jail
over
powerless. Yeah, like that's just like one of the saddest things to me. So that does make me more likely to listen to it.
Yeah, my joke was that you were like looking into Hayley's eyes being like, I hate listening to podcasts about cold cases.
And I hated your lesson. Let's hear from our sponsor.
Hey guys. If you need something to pick you back up after that episode, do not fret because we have a whole backlog of episodes that you have not heard yet, unless you're already on Patreon.
Yes, so we used to record substitute episodes where we'd have someone come on and teach us a lesson. Oftentimes it was a comedian or another podcaster, and they just did a bang-up job. So if you want more content and more lessons, you can find that there. And we're recording new episodes. We're about to record a double feature of trivia.
And you guys know we're hosts for trivia now. Not only do we host it, but we participate in it. And I'd have to say, us participating in trivia is probably more entertaining than us ever hosting it will be, just because we're doing trivia on the episodes that we did a long time ago, like over 2 years ago.
A long time ago. Alex here to tell us what episodes we're covering in our next Patreon Night Classy Trivia.
Yes, so this month we are covering episodes 13, 14, and 15 of Night Classy, and then because we're doing a double feature, we're doing 16, 17, and 18. Do you guys want a little preview of what these topics are?
Yeah, tell us the topics.
Okay, these are sort of out of order, but we've got Mariana's Web Part 2.
Classic.
Which,
Classic.
as we know, is the worst episode we've ever done. So tune in for that. Rando Nodding. Cat Domestication. And we're not talking about Cat the host.
I mean, not yet anyway.
That was the Zoloft.
Teach that lesson. Am I right, guys? We've also got lab-grown diseases, why people have children, the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, Proud Boys, Woman in the Attic, one of my favorite lessons, by the way, Concept of Time, Underground Seattle, Madeline McCann, and The Brothers Grimm.
We've done so many things.
So many things, and so many, what was I even going to say? I don't remember, but I just know I'm excited for these lessons. I know that Why People Have Children is one of the first Patreon picks that I did, and that lesson did not go how I thought it was going to. At least the research. It was a fun lesson and all of that. But yeah, that's what I was getting to.
Yeah.
One of our first Patreon.
And so test your knowledge of how much you remember of Night Classy. And someday our dream is to have these trivias live and you guys play along and to offer prizes. But we don't have enough Patreons for that yet. So join Patreon, get us to that goal so we can make it even better for you.
Because what you put into it is what you get out of it.
That's right. So go get the most out of it by going to patreon.com/nightclassy and supporting the show.
We appreciate you all. We'll see you over on Patreon.
All right. So since it is fall and we're about to launch into probably 6 weeks of fall-themed episodes, I would say, at least.
Yeah, we're sextupling down.
Yes. I'm excited for October episodes myself. But I thought I'd do one summer-themed episode.
Oh, a little kiss
Just
goodbye.
a little smooch, a little peck on the cheek.
No, on the lips.
On the lips. Really? It has to be?
Has to be on the lips.
Okay, on the lips. So here we go. People have enjoyed frozen desserts all over the world since some of the earliest civilizations. Ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs show snow-filled vessels next to fruit juice, indicating they were making some kind of snow cone.
That would be you. You'd be like, I can't drink this water until someone go gets ice off of the mountain.
Literally, we now have 3 specialty ice cube trays in our freezer because it's very important to me.
The meanest thing you've ever said to me was giving me shade for not getting my own ice here at the office when we didn't have it at the house, and you let me have some of yours, but a limited amount.
Oh, that I shouldn't have let you have it. I shouldn't. This was it. You guys probably don't know this story because it's about fucking water bottle ice. I need ice in my water bottle. I will not drink room temperature water. It's a thing.
She will throw up.
I will just not drink it. I will die of dehydration. But when we didn't have our ice, what happened with our ice? Something
I don't know. I think just no one refilled the trays and we had to go or something. We had ice trays though.
There wasn't ice at home for some reason. So I packed my water bottle with ice while we were here at the office, using the kitchen ice. And then we got home and Hayley needed ice. I don't know why you needed it so bad.
Because we were drinking alcohol. We made cocktails. And I was like, fuck, I didn't think about that because I don't need ice in my water.
Yeah,
but I need it in my
for
cocktail.
some ice. It was something that really needed ice. It was margaritas or something.
You gave me two cubes.
I did not give you 2 cubes. I gave you
max.
a reasonable amount of ice, but I was not happy about it. I was pissed. Anyway, ice is important. Moving on. 7th century Tang Dynasty records include descriptions of a chilled dessert made of flour, camphor, and camphor is a wax that comes from a pine tree, so I think kind of like
Thank
sap,
you.
and buffalo milk, which I'm sorry, that sounds disgusting. Flour, sap, and buffalo milk.
Yeah.
Gross.
My brother ruined the nicest gloves I've ever had on a pine cone tree, sap. I think it must have been the same kind because he climbed the tree wearing my gloves because he was like, it's so hard and sticky. I have to use these gloves. Nicest. I got them for Christmas.
Does not come off of anything. It's it's super glue.
It probably helped him stick to the tree and not fall out.
Probably. And I will say, if there was also sugar or honey in this, it probably wasn't that bad. But I'm picturing it not sweet.
They wouldn't have drank it if it was bad.
They weren't drinking it. It was chilled dessert. Maybe it was just cold. Yeah, but I mean, back then, you did what you with what you had. You made do.
They didn't know
they didn't know it was bad. Everyone, I feel prior to the 1900s was eating sawdust. That's just how it is in my mind. Most people's food was disgusting.
That's actually crazy. No, I think people have been perfecting the craft of food and eating for a long time.
I mean, they've been trying, but I feel the average person's food wasn't good. I mean, if you look at the worldwide population, most people even now don't have access to luxuries like sugar and salt and spices and stuff.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I don't know.
But sawdust.
Okay, sawdust is an exaggeration, but still. Greeks and Romans used to climb mountains to harvest ice, which they would mix with wine or honey. Sharbat was an Arabic drink made by mixing snow with spices and flower blossoms. The Mongols made ice cream by filling animal intestines with cream and then strapping it to their horses and riding in sub-zero temperatures.
I love that. I think that's genius.
It's so fucking cool because the air would freeze the milk and the galloping of the horses would churn it into ice cream. The first people to make ice cream as we might recognize it today were the Chinese, who made sherbet by covering containers of sweetened milk and rice with a mixture of ice and salt. And that salt was able to lower the freezing point of the milk, helping it freeze even when the temperatures outside were not sub-zero.
Just imagine the experimentation that it took to get to that point.
But I mean, once you put salt on ice and touch it once, you're like, that makes it colder.
Yeah.
I still have the burns on my arms. The rice
in it, I guess, is what's.
But the rice was just in the ice cream. I think it was just part of the food. Yeah, and it sounds good. I'd eat that one, but probably not the tree sap one.
Doesn't really have too much of a flavor to me. Anyway.
No, I think it was. I imagine it was probably to bulk it up.
Yeah,
stretch the milk a little bit. I would think. But that sounds pretty good.
It's
like rice pudding. Marco Polo is often credited with bringing this method from China to Italy after his travels, and this eventually resulted in gelato.
Wow. And the
Yeah.
Italians get all the credit.
All the credit. It's not fair. You never think Chinese food when you think ice cream.
Never,
But
never,
they
ever.
invented it.
I will say my favorite part of going to the Chinese buffet when I was younger was A, the crab legs, and B, the mint chocolate chip ice cream, which probably is not of Asian
Probably
descent
not
at
authentic
all,
Chinese food, but hey.
But I got to scoop it myself, so there were no rules. You know,
This is why I hate buffets. I don't want to eat ice cream that a child has scooped out of.
if I can just separate my own morals now from when I was in 3rd grade, which I can, it's a good memory, but I
Yeah.
can't go back to the Chinese buffet now.
That is COVID ground
It's an
zero.
ethical
a child
issue.
scooping ice cream from a buffet and then you eating it.
just the same scoop in that bucket of like flowing water
No,
as
ew,
all the other
ew.
I'm a survivor.
According to legend, Italian Duchess Catherine de Medici brought sorbet ices to France upon her marriage to the Duke of Orleans in 1533. So China to Italy, now to France. About 100 years later, we have the first recorded mention of ice cream in England in a 1671 description of dishes served at the Feast of St. George at Windsor for Charles in 1671.
What if you're like, and that's where our story today brings us to the Queen of England.
I briefly entertained the idea of doing something like British royal family themed, and then I just couldn't. It's too much.
I'm
I
glad
don't
you
want to
didn't.
touch it. Anyway, so the feast included one single plate of ice cream that was only served at the banquet table of the king. So it was special.
Yeah.
Very special. The first recorded English recipe for ice cream appeared in Mrs. Mary Eel's recipe in London in 1718 and reads, "To ice cream." This is a long quote. Buckle up. Take 10 ice pots, fill them with any sort of cream you like, either plain or sweetened, which,
Well, that's
plain.
2 options. So is it any cream
Right.
I like?
I mean,
or-
if there's 2 options, it's any cream you like.
But
plain
there's
or
so many
sweetened.
other creams.
Like what?
Like oat cream. Like
They did not have oat cream. They didn't have oat cream in the 1700s.
you don't know that.
Plain or sweetened, fruit in it. Shut your pots very close. To 6 pots, you must allow 18 or 20 pound of ice, breaking ice very small. There will be some great pieces which lay at the bottom and top. You must have a pail and lay some straw at the bottom, then lay your ice and put amongst it a pound of bay salt set in your pots of cream. And lay ice and salt between every pot that they may not touch, but the ice may lay round them on the side. Lay a good deal of ice on top. Cover the pail with straw. Set in the cellar where no sun or light comes. It will froze in 4 hours. It may stand longer. Then take out just as you use it. Hold it in your hand and it will slip out. That was my favorite part. When you'd freeze any sort of fruit, either cherries, raspberry, currants, or strawberries. Fill your tin pots with fruit, but as hollow as you can. Put to them lemonade made with spring water and lemon juice sweetened. Put enough in the pots to make the fruit hang together. Put them in ice as you do cream. So
Worth it. 100% worth it.
shut up. I thought it was.
What?
I thought you were making fun of me that I read the whole recipe.
No,
Oh.
I'm saying doing all of that, then at the end, I feel like I had a past life memory where I tried to do that and it didn't work. And it was just so much work that I started crying. But then you do get it right. And then you're like, this was so worth it.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
ice cream is worth it.
you have ice cream at the end. It is worth it.
And listening to you yammer on was also worth it.
I debated including this, but I just thought it was so cool, like to have a recipe from
Yeah.
back then that we can like read verbatim.
It's so involved. And also
Yeah.
you wanted to say the thing about it slipping out of your hand.
That's mostly what it was.
That's the essential.
Yeah.
Also, I love how it's not relevant at all.
No.
to the actual
It's
recipe.
like, yeah,
She's like,
of course it's
side
gonna slip
note,
out of your hand.
she's slippery.
I think, yeah, it's slippery. Yeah, that's true. Does she mean the pot, or like if you scoop ice cream in your hand, it melts and slips out?
Yes, I think she means maybe she's like, it's not right if it won't slip out of your hand. Like
Oh,
the
maybe,
consistency
yeah.
should be slick. Like it should melt and just
Like not like frozen solid.
Yes.
Like, okay, that makes sense. It's just, I do wish someone had taught her how to write like a sequential steps of instructions because this was a little all over the place.
No, you had to earn it. If you were making ice cream, you
had to do the mental
you had to work
work
for it. Yeah.
Fair. Even with this recipe, though, at a time without freezers, this meant most people could not enjoy the frozen treat, and it was only food for the very wealthy. Also, in the early 1900s, ice cream machines, they did exist, early 1900s, so a while later, but they were bulky and using them was time-consuming and impractical. So now we do have ice cream machines. They're just tough to use.
Yeah.
But this all changed with Agnes P. Marshall, also known as Queen of Ices. Little is known about Marshall's youth other than that she was born into a wealthy family and began learning to cook at a very young age.
When?
What do you mean when?
When was she born?
She was born in like the late 1800s.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought this was going to take a left turn since you did the McDonald's episode. I was like, is this the McDonald's ice cream scandal?
No. No, I wish. No, this is Agnes P. Marshall.
Okay.
And she's the queen of ice cream. She modernized ice cream.
Thank
and
God.
Made it
Thank
accessible.
you, Agnes.
Yes. She was under the tutelage of some of Europe's best chefs, and she eventually purchased a lot on Mortimer Street in London and opened Marshall's School of Cookery. They describe her as an advertising genius or like a marketing genius, but it sounds like the only thing she did was place ads in the newspaper, which maybe was a remarkable thing at the time.
At the time, that's pretty huge.
Like she was really using her big lady brain and placing an ad where it's supposed to be.
Big capitalism.
Right. And she placed these ads to promote her classes, and only a year later she was teaching 6 classes per week. So her school did pretty well. And she was especially passionate about ice cream. She loved coming up with creative new flavors and recipes for ice cream. And she even published several cookbooks, including the book of Ices. This is an ice cream
It sounds
cookbook.
like a Game of Thrones.
It does, yeah.
Sideshow.
The Book of Fire and Ices. Many of her ice cream recipes were savory.
Oh.
And they were very much unlike the ice cream we know today.
Meat ice cream.
Yes.
Get your roast beef ice cream.
Yeah, literally. One recipe featured cayenne pepper, jelly, goose liver, and frozen eggs molded into the shape of a duck.
Fuck that.
So it was kind of like, I think, Jell-O salad a little bit. Like,
I think I'm mad at her now.
it is disgusting. Yeah.
That's like when you just don't heat up leftovers, you just eat it cold. That's what that is.
But it's also, I was thinking about it as I wrote these notes, and I'm like, why is it okay for desserts to be cold, but we don't eat meals cold?
Yogurt's cold. Salad
But yogurt is
cold.
sweet. Salad, I guess.
Greek yogurt is not sweet.
But you don't eat plain Greek yogurt, do you? I wouldn't eat
Guess
unsweetened
not.
yogurt.
Yeah, salad is cold.
Yeah. I guess salad, but like vegetables and fruits I feel like are the exception.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to eat like a cold roast and cold mashed potatoes. Like for some reason
Some
we think
people
that's
like
gross.
it though. Are you team cold pizza?
I don't mind a cold pizza.
I
That's
used to
okay.
be strongly against it. Now I'll do it,
Yeah.
but I'd rather heat it up.
Yeah, it's better hot. It's just
Yeah.
better. Other ice cream recipes of hers included cucumber, peas, tomatoes, and lobster. And despite her disgusting creations, Marshall is credited with popularizing ice cream with the middle class for her invention of an efficient home ice cream maker. Early ice cream makers consisted of a metal container suspended in a wooden tub of ice and salt, but Marshall developed and patented a new home ice cream maker with a broader, shallower pot, meaning it could freeze ice cream in just 5 minutes instead of 40. Which I don't know how that's possible, because if you've ever seen Chopped, you know that they're always panicking about their ice cream coming out runny, and it seems like we still haven't perfected this, so I don't know how that worked.
I'm not sure they've read her work.
Maybe
that
not.
Might be what
they
the problem is.
They hear there's raw eggs and cooked eggs and ice cream, and they think I'm not reading that book. which fair enough.
Yeah. Wait, there's cooked eggs
Yeah,
in
I told
it?
you there were eggs in her ice cream.
I'm sorry, I blacked
They
out.
were, I mean, they were second after the goose livers. So
Yeah, I think
makes
that's
sense that
where you
might.
lost me.
Yeah.
Can I chime in with a quick fact? Why
Yeah.
do
No.
humans prefer warm and hot food? It's because the excited aromatic molecules of hot food are floating about your food. It's easier to smell and thus easier to taste, enhancing and making eating more pleasurable. Ever try eating when you have a bad cold and have a totally stuffy nose? It's not as rewarding, so humans adapted to like
But then-
warm food because it tastes better.
But why do we like cold dessert, like popsicles and ice cream?
Because popsicles aren't the same warm.
Don't
What if I
question
just
the
I melt
logic.
a popsicle and I drink it out of a hot mug like tea? Why don't I like that?
Oh,
I don't know either.
Kat.
Okay, so
Ask your brain.
dear brain. Okay, so she was partially responsible for the invention of edible ice cream cones as well. One of her recipes calls for a combination of eggs, flour, sugar, and almonds to be baked into a wafer called a cornet.
That sounds really good.
Yeah, that part sounds good. Marshall encouraged people to eat these cornets with cream, although they differed from ice cream cones in that they were meant to be placed on top of the ice cream instead of holding it inside. And the true ice cream cone wouldn't be popularized until 1904 at the World's Fair in St. Louis, Missouri.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a little fun
Can you
fact
imagine
for
when
ya.
people see that? They're like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, you can eat the utensils. I'm in.
Yeah. I'm not and then that's when the cupcake kid happened. That's the origin story to the kid,
kid who
in
eats
your
the
class
wrapper.
who eats the wrapper.
There's
Mhm.
always
Yep.
one. So, despite New Zealand currently holding the title for most ice cream eaten per capita, the United States led the pack for a long time in
That
ice
checks
cream
out.
eating. When the 18th Amendment outlawed alcohol in the 1920s,
Boo.
boo, many American breweries began making ice cream and soda instead because it was an easy switch due to a similar manufacturing process and things like bottling and refrigeration that they already had. Also, with prohibition, many Americans were left without a comforting vice that they had with, like, you know, having a drink after dinner. So they filled that void with the sugary fat of ice cream. Ice cream became a stand-in for alcohol and a national comfort food, and ice cream consumption in the U.S. reached more than 100 million gallons per year at the end of the 1920s. So many gallons, and peaked at more than 1 million gallons per day.
A day?
A day.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
So
I'm kinda
we stay eating that
here
ice
for that.
cream.
Yeah. Please never change that, America. Give me all the ice cream.
You can have it. Alec asked me, he was like, what ice cream? Should we bring ice cream for Hayley? And I was like, he was like, what's her favorite? And I said, Grater's chocolate cherry.
Ooh,
Is
you're
that your
wrong,
favorite?
but
Dang it.
that
What's
was
your
close.
favorite?
If we're at Graders, then it's the black raspberry chip.
Oh, that's what I
but
meant.
you were
Black
close.
raspberry
Yeah.
cherry.
I
Same
hate
thing.
No,
I
no,
hate
no, no,
cherry.
no.
Hate cherry and
Really?
any
I
cherry.
was like, okay, I'll get her Cherry Garcia, and that would have been a disaster.
yeah,
Yeah.
I would have been mad.
What's the difference between cherry and raspberry?
They taste different.
I
Cherry
guess.
is more tart. Raspberry.
Kat, are you kidding me?
I don't know. It's ice cream. It all kind of tastes the same.
Oh my
I don't know.
God.
I don't.
This is like Kat
What?
teaching like a lesson on eating meat.
Yeah, I don't like ice cream.
She hates ice cream.
What the fuck is happening right now? You're not the one to be.
Yeah, you
This
can't
is
gaslight
wrong.
people that there's a raspberry cherry difference.
There's not.
There
Kat.
is. It's literally called two different things. I'm
And
sorry.
cherry's
screaming.
amaretto flavored in a lot of desserts.
There
Yeah,
you go.
That's
yes.
fair.
It's
a
different.
little different.
But generally, if you must know, it's chocolate chip cookie dough. That's
Okay.
like a
Makes
go-to.
sense.
But if
That
we're
is
at
a good one.
Graders, I fuck with the raspberry chocolate chip hard.
I see. All right. Good to know for next time I do a lesson on ice cream.
Yeah, because I'll be pissed if you get me cherry. Like I'll
I
be
won't
mad.
get you cherry. I also don't like cherry ice cream.
Good. We can still be friends.
But that's not because I don't like the flavor. It's because I don't like the way frozen cherries feel when you chew them.
Oh, the texture
Yeah,
is a huge
a
thing.
big
That's
deal.
fair.
Can you imagine if I would have showed up? Happy birthday. Here's your favorite ice cream.
If we got her ice cream, if we got her ice cream, I probably would have checked with Tommy before buying it. But I I was pretty confident that you like chocolate cherry. That's on me. Yeah, sorry.
Well, I like though that you remembered Graders. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
That's Cincinnati.
Because we got ice cream together when we were in Cincinnati, and you were
Yeah.
raving about the raspberry.
You're like,
chip.
and you were raving about the cherry.
The cherry.
Not
Yeah.
once did you say anything about raspberry. It just becomes a huge fight.
I just remembered it was pink with chocolate in it.
Yeah, that
To
was
me,
a good
that's
guess.
cherry.
It was more purple, but you know.
Okay. All right.
Are you colorblind too?
Maybe. Consumption dipped slightly after 1929 due to the stock market crash and the Great Depression. Ever heard of it? But it still remained popular. And it was at this time that the flavor Rocky Road was invented
Oh my God.
and marketed as a metaphor to help people cope with the Great Depression, reminding Americans that there are still good things in life amongst the rocky road, amongst the brokenness.
Wow, I actually love that.
Isn't
Not
that crazy?
once have I questioned the name of Rocky Road.
No, but it makes sense.
It does. Oh.
And before Rocky Road, ice cream was usually plain vanilla or chocolate, and then you might add toppings like on top of it, like for a sundae.
Yeah.
But you didn't purchase it with toppings mixed in. So the fact that it had walnuts and marshmallows mixed into the ice cream was a whole new concept.
Yeah, you had to DIY it before.
Mm-hmm.
Some people like DIY, some people don't.
I don't. I like to buy ice cream already made.
Me too, as far as ice cream goes.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to eat that disgusting swill, then buy it already made.
Cat. Don't do. You're polarizing people. It's literally
I'm
everyone
not polarizing
versus
anyone.
you.
Yeah, everyone does not agree with me. The problem is I was vegan for so many years, so I abstained from ice cream, and now every time I like look at ice cream, I feel like I'm just drinking milk, and I'm disgusted by the idea of milk. So I don't want to eat ice cream, and dairy-free ice creams are not good. I'm sorry. I've tried the Ben & Jerry's ones. Those are better than most, but they're still not that good.
There's some things that you just have to not think about
Yeah,
when
you-
you're doing.
She buys a big tub of sour cream that's bigger than a tub of ice cream.
Sour cream tastes better than ice cream, so I can
Oh
make
my
allowances.
God.
Sour cream is too good.
It's so good.
It's like disturbingly good.
Yeah.
Also, I have a ice cream bone to pick with Talenti, the ice cream company.
Oh, why?
They switched their recipe and they said they're like for the chocolate chip cookie dough, they're like same look but creamier. I don't like creamy ice cream.
Oh.
And I didn't see that. And there's no like the old version option. So I had to get the creamier because I like their ice cream. Not anymore. I will not be buying it again. It is too creamy. They need to revert back to their old ways. And I am
Wow.
mad.
Wow.
Isn't Talenti already known though to be like one of the creamier ones?
Maybe it's not Talenti. It's one of those ones that it's like a little pint is like 360
Yeah, it's like
calories.
the
That's
layered
Talenti.
ones.
It's
Yeah.
not the layered
Oh.
one. It's a different one. But it's
it's
like
same brand,
it's
right?
Similar brand, I think. I don't
Yeah.
remember. But yes, I'm very upset.
That is upsetting. I hate when they change the formula of things.
Me too. Like it was already good. I don't get it.
Mhm.
I maybe I'm weird for not liking creamy ice cream.
No, I hear what you're saying, because when it's too creamy, the fat like sticks to the roof of your mouth and you're reminded that you're eating something that came from a cow's udder. And I
gets
don't
all,
like that.
Like caked onto my
fat
esophagus.
sticks
Yeah.
to the roof of your mouth.
Yeah. Like Starbucks whipped
Something
cream
sticks.
is
I think
disgusting.
Kat is an alien pretending to be a yes, when the fat sticks to the roof of your
It
mouth.
does.
I
When-
just don't like the taste. That's I don't know about all that, but
But have you like ever like licked Starbucks whipped cream?
it leaves the film. I
A
know what you
film.
mean.
And
is
when
it the
ice cream
fat,
is
or is that
too
your
fatty, that's fat.
assumption?
That's
the
fat.
Yeah, whipped cream at Starbucks is totally different than ice cream.
But it's the same concept. When it's too creamy, it like makes your mouth feel slick.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you're comparing cheap whipped cream with delicious creamy ice cream.
No.
I
no,
like
no.
the cheap whipped cream. I like the whipped cream out of the can. I do not like Starbucks whipped cream.
It does coat your mouth.
Yeah, that's why I don't like
coats
it.
your mouth.
It's gross.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that sounds like a Starbucks problem and not an ice cream problem.
Well, creamy ice cream is not good, so it It is an ice cream problem.
I think I have a bone to pick with you on that.
Also,
issue.
you brought up how I'll eat sour cream but not ice cream. I'm not eating sour cream with a spoon out of the container. That's disgusting. I'll eat it as a topping. And I would eat ice cream.
I was about to say, I've seen a spoonful or two.
Not straight out of not just a plain spoonful of sour cream. And I will eat.
You just like take it straight from the cow's udder, swish it in your mouth till it's sour cream.
Oh.
That is disgusting. I will eat ice cream if it's like on top of a piece of pie and like I take a bite of pie and there's a little ice cream on the fork. I'll eat it like that. I'm not going to take a carton of ice cream and just eat spoons of it. It's a mental hang up. I know it's irrational and I know I'm in the minority here. I just can't do it. I can't. I'll eat cheese. I'll eat cheese by the fucking block, but I will not eat ice cream.
Literally, why did you do this lesson?
Because Hayley, you know what happened to me?
What happened?
I sat on the couch with my laptop from like 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. searching for a topic. And there were so many topics. It got to the point where I had too many options and I was overwhelmed. And then I like found multiple like fun narratives about ice cream, like this ice cream lady. And I was like, okay, like I just have to do it.
It's fun. Yeah,
I liked it.
Okay.
But I am admittedly not an ice cream I'm not a dessert person. I just don't really like, I would much rather eat pizza than dessert. Like
I want both.
Same.
Okay. I will choose the savory
you're savory
food
all
10
day.
out of 10 times.
I want savory and sweet balance.
Okay. Good for you.
You might actually like the goose liver and egg
that's
thing.
True.
Honestly, I might. If there was a pizza flavored ice cream, I'd probably eat it. According to legend, ice cream mogul William Dreyer of Dreyer Ice Cream personally cut up the nuts for his Rocky Road ice cream using his wife's sewing scissors.
I'd be so pissed.
Yeah, that's not cool, dude.
Don't get different scissors. Use a knife.
The sewing
Grow
scissors
up.
are the sharpest, though.
They are the sharp. We'll get a different pair.
That's true. I used to steal my mom's sewing scissors to cut things
Because
they're the sharpest.
I still have my grandma's sewing scissors.
That's a gift.
And use them like every day.
Every day for what?
Whatever I need to cut.
You just said those are only for sewing.
Well, not mine.
The rules don't apply to me.
Right. I imagine that woman is actually doing a lot more sewing for the time period than I am.
Probably. As we know, two major facets of American culture are ice cream and war. So it's no surprise that ice cream was incorporated into the American war machine. For thousands of years, military rations existed to give soldiers the calories they needed to keep them healthy and alive, but not necessarily provide any comfort or pleasure. But that all changed with food advocate and philanthropist Herbert Hoover during World War I.
Oh, yes, we know him.
He would go on to be president, but at the time he was serving as the first head of the U.S. Food Administration when he classified ice cream as, quote, an essential foodstuffs.
Well, there we go. Everything that I've ever felt is being affirmed.
He was a big supporter of ice cream. He would be team Alec and Hayley. During World War I, he encouraged Americans to support the war effort by rationing their food by their own free will. He didn't want to impose government sanctions like other countries were doing because he believed that was like communism and that was going against the very values of freedom that Americans were fighting for. So he wanted people to make sacrifices for the war but didn't want to force them. And weirdly enough, this worked. Under his lead, 10 million American households agreed to, quote unquote, Hooverize their meals by limiting staples like wheat, fat, and sugar.
Okay.
Americans cut down on their food intake without completely eliminating their God-given American right to buy small amounts of luxury foods like ice cream. Because a lot of other countries, like European countries, just stopped the production of ice cream. They're like, no one can have it because all of these resources have to go to war. America kept producing it, but just put limitations on it or encouraged people to limit their intake.
The people need their ice cream.
It's important. It's an essential food stuff. And even with these allowances, this wasn't enough for the ice cream industry. They wanted more, and they pressured Washington to subsidize Allied ice cream factories across Europe so that American troops wouldn't have to go without ice cream.
I think that's the right thing to do. I think they are petitioning for the right thing. I think that not only should American troops get it, but the European troops should get it too. Everyone should get ice cream, especially during wartime.
Yeah, there's definitely many times, where I don't feel proud to be an American, and like it's hard.
It's hard.
But doing these notes, I felt pretty proud. I was like, okay, this is what it's all about.
I was feeling that, but I didn't really even know how to name it or describe it because it's such a foreign feeling.
Yeah. And it does feel really reckless and stupid, but it's like sometimes you just need to take care of yourself. Put yourself first and treat yourself so that you can go through with this war.
You
need to treat yourself. Self-care. Self-care on the front lines.
If you're going to be at war, take care of yourself and eat the ice cream.
You should have ice cream. It's important.
The ice cream. It's an essential food stuff.
It is, according to the president. So the ice cream manufacturers claimed that not only ice cream an essential comfort food, but it was an essential food in hospitals. It was also often fed to hospital patients. So they were saying that without ice cream, war doctors wouldn't know what to feed patients. It was going to be a health risk. And unfortunately, logistical challenges like access to refrigeration and limited sugar imports made meeting the demands of big ice cream impossible. Though ice cream manufacturers were given privileges by the government by only being asked to reduce their sugar usage during the war by 25%, whereas other sugar-based industries like chocolate, gum, and soda had to reduce by 50%.
Dang. Okay, so out of those, chocolate, gum, soda, plus ice cream, which one would you pick to have available? If you're in the war times and you're like, if I could get one, what would you want to get?
I drink a Diet Coke every day, so soda.
Okay. Why did I not know that? I thought you drank Celsius every day.
I do. I drink a Celsius in the morning and a Diet Coke at lunch.
Okay,
I'm healthy.
To know.
I'm healthy.
Balance. That's what it is.
I'm gonna get stomach cancer ASAP.
Don't hate that, please. That's scary.
What would you pick?
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
I think ice cream
over chocolate.
Okay, I love chocolate. I really like gum, but gum makes me gassy and it makes my jaw hurt. But I just like the it gives me something to do. I love chocolate, but I think I would choose ice cream. If I could get ice cream that had texture to it, like chocolate chip cookie dough, I would do that. But if I only had like strawberry, chocolate, and vanilla, then I would do chocolate candy instead of ice cream because I need that texture. I can't just do smooth ice cream. I'm a big sprinkle girl.
You like to chew.
I like the crunch.
The crunch. I agree with you. I would go chocolate all the way. Like if I'm picking a dessert, I really do like chocolate.
I fuck with chocolate.
I fuck hard with chocolate. After the war, ice cream's popularity continued to grow. We already talked about the Great Depression, and an Ohio candy maker named Harry Burt inserted lollipop sticks into vanilla ice cream bars and dipped them in chocolate for the first time, creating the Good Humor Bar.
Genius.
So smart.
Which, by the way, is in that book that you just gave her. I opened it up and it was about the origin of the Good Humor Bar.
Wow. I hope by giving you this book, like the chances are 1 in a quadrillion billion. But I can't wait for the day that we choose the same lesson.
I thought it was in the cards because you mentioned last week that you started using Ripley's Believe It or Not as a source, which I skim every now and then to find something. And then this weekend, that's what I was on. I was scrolling through pages and pages and pages of it looking for something.
Yeah, my big ones are Atlas Obscura and maybe BuzzFeed, but not really even BuzzFeed. Really, it all just comes from things I see in my day-to-day life or I have questions about.
I go on allthat'sinteresting.com
that's
every
a good
week.
one.
It's
all
a really
the sources
good one.
that I've gotten are it's like a great source, but I don't go there to find topics. I should start doing that.
The problem with them is there's nowhere to search for a topic because I like to type in a keyword. Like if I'm feeling the mafia that week, type in mafia, and you can't do that on their website.
And then when you just do that in Google, it's like
Too much.
So much.
Too much.
Well, what you need to do is go to Google, search whatever you're feeling, and then follow it up with all that's interesting.
That's smart. True.
Yep.
I do need to do that.
Big brain.
Or Reddit. Because Reddit a lot of times has good write-ups, and a lot of times they source their material, and then you can go find those articles. We have all the tricks, you guys. Anyway.
Can I use this as an opportunity to plug in our Discord now on Patreon? You can recommend topics. There's a recommend topic channel. So if you feel like you want to, if you're hearing them talking and you want to not donate.
If you want to donate, that's on
They're going to
Patreon.
donate too. It's on Patreon.
Yeah, it's the
that's true.
Patreon Discord, so you're already donating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Get
if
on
you
it.
you can for sure get your topic picked if you donate at, I forget which level it is, but at one of the levels you get to pick a lesson.
Yeah, learny wormy.
Yeah.
Learny wormy.
All right. And in the summer of 1921, authorities at Ellis Island provided ice cream to new immigrants as part of their American first meal.
Oh my God, I love that so much.
Isn't that fun? By the onset of World War II, ice cream was now an integral part of the American identity. It was associated with freedom after Hoover didn't sanction it, and you could still get ice cream during the war. It was a big PR move, honestly, but it made ice cream synonymous with freedom and the 4th of July and America. So when the war started, other countries immediately banned ice cream as part of rationing efforts. They were banning pretty much any luxury food. The United States did the opposite. Officials did everything in their power to make sure that this time, during this war, the Second World War, U.S. troops overseas would have access to ice cream.
Yeah, they're like, we're going to do it right this time.
Yeah, they're like, we've learned from our mistakes. The United States built ice cream factories on the front lines in Europe.
That's insane.
Yeah. The government spent $1 million on a floating ice cream barge that drove around the Pacific distributing ice cream to Allied ships.
Call me a patriot because I'm here for it.
Suddenly, I don't want to move to Canada anymore. Never mind.
What is the sensation taking over me?
I'm going to say the Pledge of Allegiance tomorrow. I'm going to do it. In 1943, they delivered 135 million pounds of dehydrated ice cream to Allied forces. And ice cream also had a practical purpose. It was not just for fun. Pilots frequently fell overboard into the sea, and large Navy vessels were too big to easily reroute and rescue them. So they relied on smaller boat crews of, I imagine, locals and other Allied forces to rescue their pilots for them and deliver them to Navy ships.
Yeah.
So they kept ice cream on board to reward people for delivering pilots back to them.
Wow. I can't.
Isn't that
This is crazy.
sweet? And the USS Hancock once gave 30 gallons of ice cream to a destroyer who returned a pilot to them. And this set a precedent, telling everyone that rescuing pilots meant you will get ice cream, boosting the pilot's chance of being swiftly rescued by anyone who sees them.
Prioritizing ice cream, this must be what people are talking about, make America great again. This must be the key moment,
If you're
right?
going to say that, you better be talking about the ice cream.
I can't think about what else
That's
it
the
could
only excuse.
possibly be.
Right. What else are you talking about? It's got to be the ice cream.
Literally nothing else. It couldn't be.
No. What else is there? So even for U.S. crews, ice cream was a special treat and highly coveted. In 1942, a Japanese torpedo fatally struck the USS Lexington. 200 sailors died. But before the surviving crew members evacuated the ship, they broke into the freezers and gorged themselves on ice cream, then grabbed what they could carry, filling their helmets with ice cream before jumping overboard. So
That
this
would
is
be
a
me.
bad shipwreck. 200 people died, and they still took the time to eat ice cream.
They put ice cream in their helmets.
Yeah.
They're like, fuck my skull. Fuck my, what? If your skull gets fractured, you're not going to eat ice cream. You're not going to wear the helmet.
Maybe they're numbing their brain with the brain freeze. And so if they
Ooh,
get hit on the
okay.
head, it won't matter because they have
Right.
brain
They
freeze.
have
They
brain
won't feel
freeze.
it.
Okay, I get it now. It makes sense.
Aerial military personnel figured out they could strap buckets filled with cream, cocoa powder, and sugar to their planes. And by the time they landed, it would be frozen and churned smooth by the plane's vibrations. In 1944, Squadron Commander J. Hunter Reinberg made 10 gallons of ice cream this way inside the plane's artillery chamber and fed it to his 100 Marines as a little treat. So
I
cute.
love it. I can't get over it.
Isn't it sweet? And of course, like, it really was a treat. I don't want this to sound like U.S. troops were just like fed ice cream and eating ice cream all the time, because they were not. This is not true. Most of them were starving and miserable. But there was ice cream around if you were lucky enough to get some. But even those without real ice cream improvised by mixing snow and melted chocolate bars in their helmets and eating that. Which that's disgusting.
What it's about. No. Ingenuity. It's
yes.
like
American
ingenuity.
ingenuity.
You might as well, right?
Yeah,
like,
you got nothing else to do. But honestly, like, just eat the chocolate bar. You're probably cold if there's snow on the ground. You don't want to make yourself colder by eating snow, but
that's not how it works. You can't do it. You can't heat your body from the inside with warm things like hot cocoa.
Oh my God, I want some hot cocoa
right now
with some Baileys in it.
Oh
my God, it sounds
cream
so
of Baileys.
Good. I'm ready for cold weather. I'm sick of this shit.
Me too. I'm ready to wear my winter clothes. I want sweaters. I want boots. I want stockings.
Yes. 100% agreed. Ice cream became so important to the U.S. military that in 1950, when Marine General Lewis B. Polar called it, quote unquote, sissy food and told Marines they should favor more masculine treats like beer and whiskey, people were outraged. There was so much national backlash that the Pentagon had to step in and issue an official statement that ice cream would guaranteed be served to troops no less than 3 times a week.
Oh my God. Ice cream will be served. And by the way, we are not going to be assigning any gender this way or that way to ice cream. Now, you all do what you want with cupcakes.
Right.
You girls.
That's sissy food. Maybe an ice cream filled cupcake. I think a man could eat that.
Maybe. I don't know. Sounds like it would get melty. And then it's like the icing would be so cold if it has to be frozen to keep the ice cream cold.
Yeah.
Sounds disastrous.
Getting his big man beard. It's impossible to
and then
eat.
he just leaves it because washing your face is also for sissies.
That's for girls. Yeah.
It's a girl thing.
Have you guys seen Forrest Gump?
Yeah.
When he's in the army and he gets shot in the butt, he's like, the best part about getting shot in the butt is they give you so much ice cream.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like always eating ice cream in the hospital.
Must have been a nod to this. Yeah.
A really good Forrest Gump voice.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. That must have been like
Fell
practice.
into it like a natural.
Ice cream remained and remains an important part of life for civilians as well. Clinical researchers found that compared to chocolate and yogurt, only ice cream inhibits the human startle response with statistical significance. So ice cream does calm us down. It suggests this is literally a comfort food in every sense of the word.
Oh, yeah. I could have told you that. No research.
But research confirms. And this is likely due to the positive memories we associate with ice cream, like summers, vacation, childhood. But it could also go deeper than that and remind us of infancy, as breast milk is said to have vanilla notes, and it is much sweeter and creamier than regular cow's milk. So maybe it's a little throwback to that.
I want to taste breast milk.
I think I would taste my own. I don't know if I'd taste anyone else's.
I would taste somebody that I knew. I would taste your breast milk.
Really?
Yeah, I think I would.
If you taste my breast milk, I'll taste your breast milk.
Yeah, just a little like, maybe not right out of the nip, chill it a little first.
Yeah, I'm not going to go straight to the source.
But I would taste it just to know.
I used to be a nanny, and I'm not saying I would drink the breast milk I was left from the parents, but
I did.
No, that'd be inappropriate. But I would feed the baby formula And I can't say I wasn't curious to try the formula. I never did.
The formula? Okay. Yeah. I'm not as curious about formula.
Yeah. I'm definitely more curious about breast milk. But I don't know.
Did your mom breastfeed you?
Yeah.
My mom did, I think, for like 3 weeks, and she's like, I'm done with this.
That's going to be me. I don't know how people do it. You are so strong if you breastfed your baby.
Strong.
Thinking about it makes my boobs shrivel up and jump inside my body. That sounds so uncomfortable and painful.
Yeah, and it is. Or even if you weren't able to achieve that, if that was your goal and you tried it, the whole general area of like having the opportunity to even breastfeed, like, good job, ladies, gentlemen,
definitely,
however you identify.
Bravo if you could do
Brava.
that. I don't think I'll be. I don't think I'll be able to. I have a mental hang up.
Did you ever watch Weeds?
Yeah.
Do you remember the part where she had the baby and then she was in the restaurant with her brother-in-law and she needed to pump, but the pump broke or something, and then she had to get him to suck the boob out of her suck the milk out of her boobs because it hurt so bad and the pump wasn't working?
I don't know if I got to that point. I think I only watched the first season.
Oh, well, she ends up having a baby with this Mexican drug lord. Spoiler alert. And her brother-in-law ends up sucking the milk out of her boobs in a restaurant.
Gross. I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
You got to do what you got to do. But it is scary. I'm like, what will that even feel like?
I know. It's too scary. And maybe I just feel this way because I've never been pregnant. And the whole thing seems really scary to me. But
it's all scary, I think.
I mean, whatever you want to do is what I'm saying.
More power to you.
More
if
power
it works
to
for
you.
You like it. I love it.
But I'm scared. I'll
Me
go
too.
ahead and say it. I'm scared.
My mom studies breast milk at St. Jude, and I just want to say you might get some hate mail.
But nobody should be
About
hating
what?
because it is your own choice whether to breastfeed or not.
It is.
I realize it's technically better for the baby, but not everyone can breastfeed, and there's plenty of healthy babies and adults that were not breastfed.
Might get hate mail for
Oh no, I just thought hers just saying like I'm not going to breastfeed my baby because I don't feel like it could be.
You know what? If you don't feel like it, listen.
I thought you just said it's good.
Well, it's because it's scary.
And you're not even in that, decision making point.
Yeah, but I mean,
anyway.
I don't even need a justification. Whether you want to breastfeed or not is your choice. And if anyone questions you on that, they're a dick. Ignore them.
Yeah, it shouldn't matter. It's your body, your choice, your child.
Exactly. All right. In any case.
It's like an utter hang up here with the ice cream and the breast milk.
In any case,
this is utterly
ridiculous.
Yeah, this is utterly making my nipples hurt just having this conversation.
Alec, get to it. She needs
no.
She needs help.
Stay away. Ice cream is incredibly popular worldwide today. Obviously, many countries have their own version and preferred flavors. Indonesian ice cream is called es puter or stirred cream. It's made of coconut milk, pandanus leaves.
Scary.
What?
You said es puter?
Es puter? It means stirred cream.
I don't know. It just sounds like udder to me.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's made of coconut milk, pandanus leaves, and sugar, and it comes in flavors like avocado, jackfruit, durian, palm sugar, chocolate, red bean, and mung bean. In Iran, they make falud, which is a Parisian sorbet made of vermicelli noodles frozen with sugar syrup and rose water, and it's often served with lime juice and ground pistachios. That sounds fucking delicious, and I need some right now.
The pistachios just crushed them right into my mouth.
In Italy, they of course have gelato, like we talked about, which is made from whole milk, sugar, and sometimes eggs. It contains 2% less fat than American ice cream. And all of these things sound delicious, but disgusting flavors have also been manufactured and marketed. Van Leeuwen created Kraft mac and cheese ice cream made with Kraft cheese powder. Marble Slab Creamery made flaming hot Cheeto ice cream. I'd eat that.
I would try it.
That sounds okay. And the ice cream store made Thanksgiving dinner ice cream. It's vanilla ice cream with chunks of tomatoes, potatoes, and green beans topped with sugar and hot sauce. Which that's not even Thanksgiving food.
What the
put a gravy ribbon in there. Like what? Tomatoes.
Yeah, that's wrong.
That's incorrect.
There's no tomatoes on Thanksgiving.
Exactly. Why are there tomatoes in this ice cream? Maybe they're Canadian. Maybe they don't know.
Who don't celebrate Thanksgiving.
But Canadians have a different
marketing.
Thanksgiving. I don't know what they do on theirs. But anyway, that's my lesson on ice cream. My sources are How Ice Cream Became the Ultimate American Comfort Food by Matt Siegel on eater.com. And shout out Matt Siegel because I got 90% of my info from him.
90.
The 19th century entrepreneur who pioneered modern ice cream on Ripley's.com. Wartime Ice Cream, the secret weapon to boosting morale on Ripley's.com. The ice cream Wikipedia page. And Would You Try the Craziest Ice Cream Flavors in the Country by Emma B. Coomer on tasteofhome.com.
Wow, that was a rocky road.
It was.
No,
and
that was
a
good.
long one. Jesus, I talked about ice cream for an hour. I'm sorry.
So long. Now I want ice cream, actually.
I want dinner. It's
I
8
thought you were
p.m.
gonna say, I
I
want
still need to
dinner.
shower and make dinner. This is not fair.
Yikes. Just take off tomorrow.
I can't.
Well, you could.
Technically I could, but I can't.
I'm
shan't.
sorry. You shan't.
I shan't.
You shan't your pants.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening.
Thank you.
Thank y'all so much.
See you next week,
We'll see you next
bitches.
time. Remember to tell your friends about the show, rate, review, subscribe, follow us on social media, and donate to us on Patreon if you want to be our favorite. We love you. Thank you. And 3, 2, 1. Bus dismissed.
Great
Dang, that was so much.
episode.